morning, everybody. Coach Gamble back, man, with another installment of our memory verse. This week we have Matthew chapter 22, verse 39. That's for all grades. So if you're watching this, this is the correct verse. Let me read it from the New King James Version. He says, "And the second like it, you shall love your neighbor as yourself." Now, in my 10th and 11th grade class, we've been talking about relationships. Not just dating relationships, but all relationships. But of course, dating relationships is one of the major influences on our lives. It's important for us to get relationships right. And so here it is, a clue for us that Jesus gives us. The people come to Jesus and ask him, "Which is the greatest commandment, Jesus?" And he says, of course, that you love the Lord your God with all your heart, soul, and mind. But then he said, "And the second like it." In other words, there's a second commandment that's like the first commandment. If there was a greatest commandment, they go together like a 1A, 1B, if you will. He says, "You shall love your neighbor as yourself." Now, my 10th and 11th graders, you guys heard the preacher talking about this, but I'll expound upon it still, that we have a problem loving and appreciating other people because we have a problem loving and appreciating ourselves. And so Jesus is kind of like, if you're going to get relationships right with other people, you got to learn to love yourself. You got to learn to get you right. You got to learn to appreciate your gifts, your strengths, your weaknesses. You got to learn to appreciate your flaws as well as your talents, and not compare yourself to other people in terms of trying to be like somebody else. See, a lot of times we have hate for others because we have hate for ourselves. Man, we are living in a world right now where people don't mind sharing their hate for other people. And sometimes that's based on nationality, sometimes that's based on skin tone, sometimes that's based on religion, lifestyles. But the reality of it is, Jesus taught us as Christians that I need you to love God, I need you to love yourself, and then I need you to love other people as yourself. The golden rule is that you treat other people the way you want to be treated. If we would get that right, our world would be a better place. If Christians would get that right, we can be the light in a dark land to help our world become better. So what about you? Are you learning to like yourself? Are you getting to know yourself before you try to jump into BFF relationships or dating relationships? Are you taking the time while you're single, even if you have a girlfriend or boyfriend, you're still single, while you're single, to get to know your strengths and weaknesses, your likes and dislikes? I urge you to get to know yourself before jumping into these committed relationships. And once you love yourself, then you'll have the ability, the wisdom, and the understanding on how to love somebody else. We'll discuss this a little bit more in class. As always, you got to memorize the verse, you got to explain the verse, and tell me how you apply this verse to your life. Look forward to talking to you soon. Love you much. Bye.